Have you noticed how France didn't mock Islam? Because it's an Islamic country now. All of Paris would be on fire if they tried that shit. As a Christian, how are you not furious? How are you not angry by what they've just done? They've openly mocked your entire religion from head to toe. One of the most sacred images throughout all of Western civilization, the Last Supper. They mocked it. And you're just going to sit there as a Christian and what? Forgive? Turn the other cheek. Oh, just turn the other cheek, forgive. Go on, tell me. Tell me the Christian doctrine. Tell me about it.
I'm not called to take vengeance on them, because vengeance is God's. So I'm called to battle my own flesh and to not get caught up in some culture war. I'm not.
No, yeah, don't get caught up in
it is heartbreaking.
Yeah, that's right. Don't get caught up in a culture war. Just let Christian culture be mocked openly and destroyed in real time and decimated and replaced. That's it. Don't get caught up in a culture war. Don't get caught up in here in the flesh. Let's just forgive and let them make fun of us forever and do absolutely fucking nothing. And let them mock us forever and let them replace us. And we're just going to sit here and turn the other cheek and read the Bible. Bro, I don't know what it's going to take for you people to stand up and stop taking this shit. France is supposed to be a Christian fucking country. The worst thing about this is actually the fact that none of this has anything to do with sports. They could have done this at any other time. No, they chose this random event. You can't even possibly link them. They have no excuse they can come up with that makes any kind of logical sense. It's not about sports. It's not about dedication. It's nothing to do with the event. They just say, everyone will be watching. Let's prove how disrespectful we are to Christianity, and let's prove how gay we are. There was no need for it at all.
I agree. What should I have done, or what should Christians have done?
Are you mad?
Yeah.
Are any Christians?
It's heartbreaking.
Are any Christians at all, a single one, going to even bother to go outside and protest? Are any Christians going to stop watching the Olympics? Are any Christian athletes going to step down? Are any of you going to do anything after the most blatant mocking, probably in history, of Jesus Christ? Or are you all going to sit there and do absolutely nothing and talk about how somehow, in the end, it'll be fine? Oh, we have a cancer tumor, but in the end, if you just ignore it, it's going to be fine in the end. No. They wouldn't dare do this to any other religion. They wouldn't dare do it to Judaism, and they wouldn't dare do it to Islam. They would not dare. They mock Christians because you're endlessly weak, endlessly forgiving. You know what happens if somebody's endlessly forgiving? At first, they're a good person, and in the end, they're taken advantage of. And I understand. You're making me read the Bible. Me and you talk about these all the time. The Bible's all about forgiveness and turn the other cheek, and Jesus forgives, and in the end, he's coming back. I get all of that. I understand it. But as a man with beliefs, don't you have any semblance of rage inside of you? And not just you, all the Christians. Everyone's just going about their day. All the Christians in France are just doop-de-doo. What the fuck?
We should call it out, but we shouldn't let it enrage us.
Why?
Why?
Anger moves the world, friend.
You got to be careful, though. You can't fall into...
Fall into what? Anger moves the world. It was, I guarantee, during the Christian Crusades, they were angry.
You know, no, there is actually a huge movement to boycott the Olympics, and a lot of people are boycotting and not watching it. I will not watch a single sporting event. People can share the 100-meter relay, and clips can go viral. I'll block everyone who tags me in it. I'm not watching any of it at all, ever.
Absolutely unacceptable. Anger moves the world. And I think that all of this trope about endless forgiveness and allowing yourselves to be mocked and taken advantage of forever is going to backfire at some point. There's going to be a point in the future when we look back at history, if the world still exists, and they're going to say, what were the Christians doing to save Christian civilization during that period, when their lands and their women were being taken from them, when they were endlessly mocked by the people who were supposedly in charge of them? What were they doing? And when you find out the answer was forgiving, jerking off to porn, and fucking sitting around going, it'll be all right later on, there's going to be a large, long history lecture on how they should have fucking stood up and done something. It would not take much for Christians in France to put up enough of a fucking fuss outside of this garbage ceremony for them to not try this again. You need 5,000-6,000 people with signs and pictures of Jesus. They do it in Romania. They do it in Serbia. They do it in a few other countries. In France, a Christian nation, what are they going to do? Nothing. They're all going to go out tonight, drink alcohol, and fuck. That's it. Do drugs. Fucking failures. I'm telling you, it's a failure of the religion, and it's a failure of the Christians to allow this to happen. You cannot blame the people who attack. If I leave my money out on the street and someone steals it, people will say, why'd you leave your money out on the street? If you allow your profit, if you allow Jesus and your religion and your culture and your entire country to be mocked and stolen from you and destroyed, and you do nothing, whose fault is it?
So what should Christians do?
Christians should go and put up enough of a fuss right now so that they know this is unacceptable. So that you can't decide during the Olympics to ignore sporting, ignore dedication, ignore hard work, ignore international cooperation, all the things the Olympics are supposed to be about, throw that out the window and instead desecrate Jesus Christ. All you have to do is get some signs and go stand out there and say, what are you doing? Not a single one is outside. And you're telling me that if you were there, you wouldn't be enraged either. There has to get a point where you get mad. This is a genuine question. I'm trying to understand your mindset. Someone breaks into my house and rapes my wife. Right?
Okay.
They knocked me out. They shot me. Like Hard to Kill. I'm Steven Seagal. They come in, they hit me with the shotgun. Bang. Takes me down for a minute or two. They rape my wife. I get up. Oh, well, turn the other cheek.
No.
No, people must pay the price. They must pay for what they've done. They will pay for that. If I sit there and talk about forgiveness, am I a nice person or am I a bitch? There comes a point. There is a line which can't be crossed for all men in all things, whether it's religious or anything else. And if you cross that line, there are consequences. People ask me all the time. I had this conversation the other day. I said, I'm absolutely capable of murder. Of course I am. There is a line. If you cross that line, I will kill you. There's a line for Christians. I'm not asking for mass violence. I'm saying pick up a sign and stand outside. It's probably it's a sunny day. Go out in the sun and show that you're upset. No, none. And then Christians complain that, France, all the Muslims are taking it. The Muslims protect their religion. They respect it. So others respect it. And then you wonder why France is now an Islamic country. In 50 years from now, they'll still be mocking Jesus Christ and they will not dare do it to Islam. They will not dare. And then you want to sit here and talk about religion and which ones you can argue about the two, blah, blah, blah. I don't want to go down that route because it's a messy one. But I just don't see how you can have a belief you don't stick up for. I don't see how that's even a belief anymore. If I believe in something, I stick up for it. Isn't that a prerequisite of belief? I believe, so I defend. I believe this is my house, so I defend it. If I don't believe it's my house, why would I defend it? You believe in Jesus Christ, defend it.
Well, you also have to enact the principles that he teaches. And he doesn't teach me to go lash out at people and be filled with rage. Holding a sign is not rageful. I agree with that.
Okay, so how is showing that you're upset with what happened against biblical prophecy or against biblical teachings?
I don't think it's against biblical teachings.
No. Okay, so it could happen, and it doesn't happen, and it doesn't happen because Christians don't care enough. So perhaps you should be a little bit angrier. Perhaps 1% more. Because if you don't give a shit at all about things, if I have anything in the world, a car I don't care about, and it's neglected, eventually it's destroyed. Same with a house, same with a relationship, same with a business. If you sit there and you refuse to put in effort, human energy and time, eventually it gets replaced and destroyed. And it's the same with a religion. If they're going to mock Jesus Christ at the largest ceremony France has held in years, with the most blatant and obvious discretion of all of his teachings in history, it's the worst thing they've ever done. And not a single Christian will hold up a sign. Don't you think the Satanists are like, yeah, we've won now. Look, what did they do? They didn't do that. We put it on the TV, we put it all in front of them. Oh, they tweeted a little. Yeah, fuck them. Don't you think your enemies now know they've won? It's like someone slapped you in the face and you just, sorry. You're emboldening them. You understand?